Welcome to episode 23 of Steins Gate. I'm very excited being this close to the end to see how it all wraps up. Okabe finally made the jump back to the world line where Kurisu was stabbed. And then, oh, by the way, real quick, side note, World War III is going to happen, so let's go ahead and deal with that. Okay, so let's finally get details about Kurisu's stabbing, I hope, and then trying to fix it somehow. So we'll see what happens. We're going to watch it and discuss it at the end. I got the subtitles and the timer on the screen if you want to follow along that way. Or you can pull up the episode on your own, but either way, let's go with episode 23 in 3, 2, 1, play. It sucks that it's almost over. And then what I'll watch after, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I can't give you information on that, but I'll figure it out. That's quite a few deaths. 2036. If it did, that'd be quite the finale. It turns into a transformer. Yeah, he knows all about time travel at this point. To when? He's like, I just went through all this. I thought we were done. It was bad enough as it was. Yeah. But he's like, now there's this whole other thing that's happening. They don't know who... He might have heard her name. Yeah. Is there some way to save her? Would also avoid her death. Okay. How do you prevent her death? Like, we always tried preventing Mayuri's death and it just never worked. So her dying caused World War III in some weird indirect butterfly effect way. Steins Gate! A real thing! He's like, wait, what? So, okay, we'll see how this all plays out. We had the Alpha World line, dystopia, Mayuri's death. We're done, we did it. Had to make the sacrifice to get to the Beta World line and lose Kurisu. And then this bombshell to drop on him. I can see why you would just be so exhausted at that point. But yeah, while the OP is playing, let me say that if you enjoyed the videos, subscribe to the channel. We got a new episode of Steins Gate every Monday, although not for too much longer. And we got other videos every day of the week, too. Also, check out the description below. There's Twitter and Discord if you want to come hang out. And there's Patreon if you want to support the channel. Get polls, early videos. You can get them a week early. You can get them even earlier than that. Exclusive vlogs and such. Thank you. And now we're hacking to the gate. So yeah, I don't want this OP to be over. I wanna, I guess I can hear it. Is that... Are the visuals different there, or have I not paid much attention? Anyway, I can listen to it anytime I want, but, you know, it's nice having it here at the beginning of the show. Alright, so here we go. And the episode is called Open the Steins Gate. This is Okabe's plan himself. Both of them. I think it'll work. I don't know if he'll do it. Like, it's a great promise. It's from himself in the future. It's this world line where everything will be okay. But also, I understand why he wouldn't It does. So he's getting encouragement from them. All right, there you go. There it is. This can save her, so there it is. Like World War III, 5.7 billion people. That's such a... Yeah, he's like, what? That's such a huge, like, abstract concept that's so hard to comprehend. For both him and for the audience. But when you tell him, hey, the girl you love, well, there you go. That's all that matters. Nice. This one's much better than the other one. Okay, so let's see how this all plays out and how it ties back into episode 1. So it wasn't just Suzuha who time traveled at that time, it was Okabe too. Oh. Little time fireflies. I'm gonna be sick. Nice. Do you have to say it that way? Whoa, hey! Okay. I was like, well, we're pulling out guns already. Ah. So in episode 1, was there a second Okabe running around? And I'm gonna have to go back and look for the details of that shit. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. Oh, there he is. Now they're getting the Upa. Feels like a pretty long time ago. Oh yeah, because Karisu said that, like, that they had bumped into each other before and that he had something he wanted to tell her. And then when she bumped into him again, he was like, I don't know what you mean. So yeah, that's right. Okay. Well, yeah, he's like, he's so happy to see her alive. She doesn't know. I'm here to save your life. Hey, the same sound effect that was, yeah, that was the bell that rang in episode 1, but it was like Mayuri's face looking up at him when it happened, and this time it was Karisu's. So yeah, and then she bumped into the other Okabe and was like, you had something you wanted to say, and he's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, he can. Exactly. That's one of the things I've been wondering about this whole time. And then there's that. Just like with Mayuri, you couldn't save her. So how do we save Karisu? Whoa, here's him interrupting the conference. Oh man, it's so cool seeing this stuff again. It really feels like it was a long time ago. So we're just gonna hang out here? Like, she gets stabbed somewhere and then, like, bleeds out and walks here. I mean, there would have been a trail of blood. It's more likely to assume it just happens here. Let's just go with that. It's best information we can work with. Okay, so she's here, reading a thing. Time machine stuff. Is it the teacher guy? Is he gonna do it? The random professor man? Dr. Nakabishi or whatever? Dad! What? Yeah, like her father doesn't stab her, does he? Oh my, no way. No way. No fucking way. Because he's always resented how she's overshadowed him. Oh wow, what an interesting, unpredictable little twist. Like, who would have thought that that guy was her father? Who would have ever thought? That random guy from episode 1. I'm really worried. That would be horrible if that happens. Wow. That's not... that's... Oh god. Is he... Oh my god. No fucking... Motherfucker. What a shit. Holy hell. Oh my god. This is not what I expected at all. What a cunt. What a fuck ass. Jesus, man. How about go to literal hell? Oh my god. Never would I have guessed. That's awful. Wow. But this Okabe was always here. This Okabe, when we first experienced this always happened. This Okabe was always here. So this shouldn't change anything. Like, this is how it played out initially, too, right? So she's still gonna get stabbed, probably. So how do we change that? She got stabbed with a knife, not the... Oh! Steins Gate! Why are you doing these things to me? Oh, what the fucking hell is happening? What a colossal fuck up. Oh my god. So yeah, that's what always happened. He's the one who stabbed her. Which, of course... It's not entirely his fault, because if he hadn't done it, her dad would have done it. Although, if he hadn't shown up... Her dad was already being a piece of shit. If he hadn't shown up, I don't know if her dad would have just left it there, like he hit her and then would have left. And the only reason he pulled out the knife is after Okabe showed up. So if he had never showed up, he might have never pulled out the knife. But he might have. We can't say for sure. I think that's when he pulled it out. But either way, so that was fucking abysmal. Holy shit. How do we fix it? And what a traumatizing... He went there. After everything he went through, he's like, okay, fine. I'll do it to save Kurisu. Only to kill her himself. And find out that he always did. My god. I didn't know how many surprises, how many big surprises we were left with in this show. We're getting close to the end, like most of it's done, and now we just got to resolve it, save Karisu, wrap up. Holy shit! Yeah, well, just don't do that this time. Just don't do the stabby part. How do we change it? Turn on the news. Okay. Makise Shoichi. What a bitch. Yeah, what the? You got the metal Upa? What? Okay. So instead of CERN having the like monopoly on time travel, all these countries competed to build up time travel shit and went to war. We just tried. What? Oh, man, holy shit. Yeah, but past experiences. Has he actually? Never mind. Never mind. I was gonna say, like, has he actually? Whoa. Aw. That's awesome. So never mind about what I was gonna say before. Failing once was part of the plan. Okay, well, that's good to know. It's traumatic, but good to know. Fuck Makise's dad. Jesus Christ, can I emphasize that enough? Holy hell. Ah, nice. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Like, that failure is what motivated me to finally like, really do it. He defected to Russia, starting this whole thing. What a shit. By the way. Right, so. Great. Good to know. This is fucking exciting. What do we do? Okay. How do we. What? If you don't undo it. Wait, what? The whole point is undoing it. Okay. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Because of all the experience you had. Trick yourself. Uh, b- Jesus. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. I don't know where he ever got it from originally. He just made it up. I'm tearing up because I'm just so excited. This is just so cool. It's just so good. Oh my god. I want. Don't end. I want to watch the next episode. I guess I could, but I Nice. Right? Fucking badass. I can't even say anything. I'm just. Oh man! Shit! my heart is pounding. I've got tears because it's just so good. Like, that's fucking impressive. It didn't have to do anything like sad or anything to it's just so good that I just cried about it. Let's talk about that episode. My god. Also, fuck Maki-san's dad. What's up with that guy? Alright, episode 23. I didn't know how many big developments, twists, crazy moments we would have in these last few episodes. I thought it might just be kind of simple resolution, like they introduced the thing in the after credits last time with a World War III, but I just didn't know where we would go with that. That might just be what the catalyst for however it is that we're gonna save Kurisu. I didn't expect this episode to be one of the best in the series. This was goddamn incredible the whole way through. This was so much fun. It was so interesting. It was just really, really good. With Suzuha coming back again, telling them about World War III, getting all those details, how many people are gonna die, by when, like how it came about, because of the arms race for control of time travel and building up time travel and everything. is cool. That's crazy to think about, but of course that's not Okabe's main concern. He's doing it because we're trying to save Kurisu, and we gotta get to the Steins Gate world line where that's possible. And I mean, that's just been the case the entire time. He's been more concerned about Mayuri than he ever was about CERN, and that just makes sense, because that's who he cares about in his life. That's who we care about as the audience. And you can say, like, oh, 5.6, 5.7 billion, whatever, people are gonna die in the future. And, like, that sounds really bad, but that's so huge and so far off that it's hard to really form, like, a real emotional connection there, either for him or us. We're like, okay, yeah, that sounds really bad. But, you know, when we have a character that we like, or a person in your life that you like, and they're in danger, then yeah, you're going to be more motivated to save them. So I really like how they're keeping those stakes personal, and I love how he was so hesitant at first. He's like, no, well, we're done. I did all this. We went through all this. I finally did it. I made the sacrifice. Kurisu is dead, and now we're done. And then this gets brought up. Oh, World War III is happening now, so now we have to stop that. I can totally understand why he felt like, no, I can't do this anymore. But then, hearing that he can save Kurisu as well, he finally tries it. And the way this all plays out, holy shit. It was great watching it all play out as it happened, remembering the things that happened in episode 1 and being like, oh yeah, that happened, so that was like this. Because watching episode 1, knowing that it was a time travel show, I knew that some of the things that weren't quite explained, like how Kurisu came up to Okabe and said, like, that they had spoken before and he didn't know that. That was obviously something time travel related that would eventually come back, but I wasn't remembering all those specific details throughout the whole show, but I started remembering them during this episode and putting all the pieces together, like that. Great moments like him seeing her and being so surprised, like so happy to see her alive. And like I mentioned during the reaction, in episode 1 you had that great moment where Mayuri looks up at him with her adorable face and the bell rings, and it's a really great moment, and it's recreated here but with Kurisu looking up at him. And just all these moments, seeing the metal Upa again, all this stuff that feels like so long ago, and him recreating all these events that happened in episode 1. And then the fucking her dad never would. That's so simple. That's such a simple twist, but like you would never guess it. And it's so fucked up. The doctor, Dr. Nakabachi, who they were at the lecture of in episode 1, that was her dad. Not only that, he is the biggest piece of shit of all time, and he didn't quite kill her, but it seems like it's leading that way, and he was definitely a big factor in it. And just seeing that happen, like seeing him come down the corridor, I'm like, wait, was the professor the one who killed her? And then she reveals it's her fucking dad, and I'm like, wait, what? And then I'm thinking, wait a minute, was it her dad who killed her? And you're watching all this play out, and he is, God, I was trying to think of just like the worst things possible to call him during the reaction. And I just still don't think I have the right words, because he's just the fucking worst. Physically abusive. She talked before, I think she was saying before how, like, he was abusive to her mother, or in some way, I think? Maybe? Because I feel like I remember something like that, and I was saying, I don't know if she meant physical. But now I wouldn't be surprised for both of them. Her offering to share the credit on her work, him stealing it entirely, being a shit, oh, your daughter shouldn't be smarter than her father, I'm an insecure piece of garbage, hitting her, pinning her down to the ground, all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna fucking kill her. And then I'm realizing as it's playing out, well, obviously it's going to play out the same way that it did before, because, you know, in the original timeline, like, obviously Okabe had already, in episode 1, Okabe had already done the time traveling, and his second self was already there. That's why she had had a conversation with him off screen. So, like, I know just by the rules of time travel, this is just going to be a loop. This is how it always happened. And so when Okabe has the knife, I'm like, how is she going to get stabbed? And then fucking, are you kidding me? That is insanity. That is so cruel. To have Okabe be the one to stab her. the knowledge that he did it, holding her after all this, going through all this, then giving it one more try because he thinks he can save her, to be the one who kills her, and to know that he always was the one. Fuck. And you don't know what would have happened had Okabe not been there, because he only pulled out the knife after Okabe interfered. He had a knife on him, so there's that, and he's a pile of shit, so you really never know, but that's just something that might have weighed on Okabe's mind too, that he only got stabby once Okabe appeared. So, even though, like, even if Okabe hadn't been there, you might say, well, he would have stabbed her, well, maybe he wouldn't have. You never know what all kind of different things might have happened. It's really rough, and then him coming back and being so disheartened by this. Mayuri, fantastic. I love that moment of her slapping him, telling him, you're not the kind who gives up. You're gonna keep trying over and over again until you do it. I love everybody's reactions here on the roof, like how just watching the characters be kind of different than a lot of the ways that we've known them over the last several episodes, because we've gone back to the Alpha world line. Like Suzuha's acting kind of differently now because it's not a CERN dystopia anymore, it's World War III. Obviously she knows Okabe and Daru, she knows he's her dad. Daru's confusion whenever she mentions her dad and him just kind of wandering around weirdly. Mayuri just slapping him, being happy when the Kiyoma persona comes back at the end. Suzuha being confused at that because she doesn't know that part of him. And this fucking guy, not only all this, he also starts World War Goddamn III, and he took the Metal Upa. I think there had been a line early in the show where she said she lost the Metal Upa. I think so. I seem to remember that. And so there that is. That piece of shit. And I didn't really notice it entirely as it was happening, because I was just too wrapped up in just the greater context of it. But looking back at it, it looks like Kurisu pushed her father out of the way. When she saw Okabe coming to stab him, she still, through all that, he was still her father, and she still wanted his approval. Because she was just a horrible victim of abuse for her entire life. And it seems like she pushed him out of the way to save him. And Okabe stabbed her, and that just makes it so much worse. And like, you think back to the first time she ever recoiled in fear from Okabe, I thought it was kind of weird when it first happened. Like when he stood up and was yelling, I think when they were playing that game or something, and she was kind of like, and I might have even cried. I thought that was a little weird. I was like, wow, she seems so tough most of the time, and then she acted that way. And now I see why. Because probably somebody standing up quickly and yelling in her face may have often resulted in being hit by her dad. Fuck, like, way to just introduce the worst villain just right at the end here. This surprise that just blew my goddamn mind. And this person I can hate more than anybody. You know, we had all this stuff with Moeka, and it's like, well, she's still a victim of CERN. And then you have FB, Mr. Brown, and he's still a victim of CERN. And there's no oh, but with her dad. Oh, but he's not so bad. Oh, but these other people are worse. No, he's the worst. And he can go fucking die. So that was all great, and then we get the ending with how we're gonna go about fixing all this. Because I'm like, okay, we have to save Kurisu, but it seems impossible. How are we gonna do it? And just the shit that they bring up at the end is so cool, and was so mind-blowing to listen to in the moment. Getting this message of him from the future, Suzuha leading him on through this on purpose, because she knew he had to fail once. And we've got to get the papers, and we've got to save Kurisu. And it's so interesting. I can't wait to see how it plays out in the next episode, because like the only person who can do it is Okabe. The only way he can do it is by being the person that he is now, by having all of these experiences that he has had. The experience of trying to save Kurisu, the experience of all the time loops that he went through, all those trials and tribulations turned him into this person, which he has to be in order to pull this off. But the only way he became that person is through Kurisu's death as the inciting incident in the first place. So how does he become this person that requires Kurisu's death for him to be, but also Kurisu gets saved? We can't change anything. Every experience that he's had has all been important, which is great, You know, like, it doesn't invalidate all the story that came before it. It all had a purpose leading him to what he eventually has to do. And he has to make it so that, at least in his mind, it all played out the same. So that he thinks Kurisu died, so that he will go on this great journey that he went on. But while Kurisu didn't actually die, he just has to think that. How this is all going to play out next time, I don't know. I can't wait to see, but that's great, and I love him talking to his past self with the Operation Skuld and Steins Gate and Hoenn Kyoma and all this, and just the persona coming back. It's so great to see him coming out of his little depression and just bringing it back, the maniacal laugh. In the reaction, I cried just from pure happiness, because it was just so cool. Like, this whole plot was just so entertaining, and I was so happy seeing him act this way. I just got teary-eyed. His laugh and his persona coming back was great and super fucking exciting, and like, holy shit, yes, hype for the next episode. And he's also right, like, this time, which is great too. Like, everything that he's saying, I will get to Steins Gate, I will take the palm of the world in my hand, is not even delusional this time. That's what's happening. But it's also just still hilarious. And it's like, oh, I'm still acting that way when I'm 33. You know, that's what I was saying before when it was revealed, like, where this whole persona of his came from, and just kind of the discussion around, is it entirely an act, or is it part of him? And clearly it's at least somewhat ingrained in him, you know. He might have just, we don't know what he was like all the time in the future when he was that old. He might have just put on that act for that video to inspire his past self. But I am more inclined to believe that, you know, putting on this persona for so long, it did become a pretty big part of him. He can kind of turn it off when he's not in the mood, when he's depressed and going through all this horrible shit. It doesn't come up, but, you know, I think it's always something that is going to come back up, I think. So it's still being a part of him when he's much older kind of shows that. And I just loved that whole thing. I knew the episode was gonna end. You know, it didn't catch me off guard with its ending, but I still dreaded it, and it fucking sucked when the ED started, and I'm like, damn it, I have to see more. God, this episode was incredible. This is, I'm fucking excited. As this episode was playing out, and as I got to the end, I was just thinking, this is a fucking 10 out of 10 for me. Like, this is a personal favorite of mine. Okabe is one of my favorite characters in anime. I was just so overjoyed watching him at the end, and I am so excited to see how this plays out. Like, this was so fun, entertaining, smartly written, the way it ties back into episode 1. Some really fun time travel stuff, really unique stuff. Really gut-wrenching and emotional with Kurisu's father and just everything that Okabe and her have been through, and it's just ran the entire spectrum of all the emotions and then some, and I really can't praise it enough. This episode was just this fucking wild ride, honestly. That was like one of the best episodes of anything, I think, probably. So, yeah. I don't know what else I can say. I could probably keep going forever, but I'll stop now. We can talk about it in the comments if you'd like. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Check out all the links down below. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.